Hi and welcome back. Daniel Gennis here, speaking to you from London, and it's a very cold spring day, very reminiscent of a cold wintry day. No snow, just very wet and very cold. It's hard to believe that the weekend previously, from Thursday, not last Thursday, the Thursday before, it was hotter than Kingston, Jamaica, and that carried on throughout the weekend up until last Monday. But there's been a complete turnaround in the weather as well. Kind of matches how I'm feeling right now. I'm really running on 4 hours sleep. I didn't get to bed until about 3:30 a.m. this morning, and I'd overslept and was up at 7:15. So do the math on that one. It's really all due to what I talked about or discussed about the previous weekend. Really, the weekend past. Actually connecting with my father via WhatsApp, and all that entailed. Yes, I was up until the early hours of Sunday, as I mentioned, and last night it was the same thing. The reason being that I lost so much time through, worry, stress, concerning my father, that I didn't actually get around and to doing my voice, not voicemail, my voice reel for an audition. And unfortunately for me, my laptop decided to slow down and play up. Had hell printing information, and there was so much of it. Really about maybe about two-thirds of it wasn't for me. It wasn't the roles that I was put up for. There was two, and they were the lesser ones. But the thing was, I just had to print everything just to kind of make sure that I'd got everything. Because again, laptop printers, the slowness of that, it took me the best part of Sunday evening just to kind of get that done. So yes, I was working throughout the night on that. Kind of set up. I've got something called Audacity on my laptop. It allows me to record voice reels for auditions. So working through the two scripts, was it two? No, it's three actually for two characters. I think there was two scenes for one character that I had to read for, and there was another one for somebody who was a village elder. Had to be done in a West African accents with a touch of RP. Accents are something. Well, I'm not a world expert. I'm not a world authority on accents. But if somebody says to me, "Do a West African accent," it's kind of, well, what is a West African accent? I mean, immediately I think of Nigeria. There's Ghana. There's Senegal. There's so many. It's just a generic one. I remember some years ago auditioning for a role which I got. Fortunately for me, it was an African gentleman who had lived about 20, 25 years in the UK. So the accent was only slight, but the trouble was he was Zimbabwean or Rhodesian at the time of the story. Well, the story goes back to the time of Rhodesia, pre Zimbabwe, pre Robert Mugabe. So it was a case of do a Zimbabwean accent. There was no resources on that whatsoever. The only reference point I had was a film with Morgan Freeman called Bopa, I think it was called, and that was the only example I was given or piece of research to do. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the film anywhere, so I was up a creek without a paddle, and so it goes on. I mean, similarly, you could say the same about South African. Do a South African accent. Well, there are about 10 languages spoken in South Africa alone. I suppose you could start with Afrikaans because that's a pretty big language and kind of mix it up, but it does involve detailed study. And unfortunately, I'm one of those people that doesn't have the time. I do try and make the time and do it, and that's one of the things on my agenda to do more because as that great actress, African American actress Viola Davis says, if you If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And I've been doing that for a while. So changing it. Some good news. My agent contacted me, texted me this morning, and said she liked what I did, because I did 2 or 3 takes on some of them as well to kind of mix it up a little bit. So I'm hoping the casting directors and the client feel the same way. If I don't mention it again, you'll know that I didn't get the job, but it was good to do it. Unfortunately, I wish I had more time to prepare, but I did the best I could on that. Talking about, I mean, funny enough, I'm not going to go into guitars again, but there is a side or a relative issue to that, which kind of goes hand in hand with recording voice reels. I had looked into getting a few microphones and a stand, and playing around with microphones. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. In fact, I was looking into this when at the same time I was purchasing guitars, but the guitars took precedence. I mean, I nearly did a silly thing and you know looked into one electric one that was going for £50. But what I found out was the lady selling it, and it's no fault of her own. It belonged to a cousin who'd left the country, but unfortunately there wasn't a case with it. So it kind of made me think, well, okay, it's not her guitar, but if there's no case in it, if there's no case for it, then where has it been lying about? How is it being treated? And then I've got to transport the thing from somewhere in East London, near Canary Wharf Way, to my home in East Central London, and anything can happen. So I just kind of left it alone. I've got 8. I've got 2 acoustics, 4, was it 2 acoustics, 4 electrics, and 2 bass, 1 in need of repair. So I think that's enough for me to go on. I mean, there was a 250 guitar, which apparently still has my name on it, but I'll have to look into that in maybe the next couple of months, because that was almost a done deal. The gentleman says my name's on it. He pulled it off Facebook because nobody wants to buy it. So we shall see on that. You see, I said I wasn't going to talk about guitars, and yet there I go. I don't know if I mentioned this again on guitars. I've kind of not kind of I'm making arrangements to start lessons this coming Sunday. I've just got to contact my tutor and find out whether he's available on Sunday. We agreed Sunday afternoon, so I'm hoping that will become a regular thing, and I will improve. Well, looking into the chords and things like that, but that's something I want to do. I think it'll give me literally an extra string to my bow, and it is something I'm doing for myself, but if it becomes useful in my acting career, then so much the better. But yeah, I don't know what else to say really. I'm just tired. I was going to go to the gym and get a good workout, but I pretty much don't want to do that because I haven't really had much sleep, so I think it's going to be a case of chilling out this evening and having a very early night. So, on that note, I will bid you adieu. Goodbye. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Look out for each other, look after each other, and be good to each other. Take care. Goodbye for now.